So what's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. So you see the title of the broadcast, and this is where we're at now. We're going to be talking about restaurants that are charging hidden fees. So I'm going to use Lindy Glenn's page to kind of broadcast this situation because it's been times where I've seen things like this in the restaurant field and stuff like that. And I've been in the restaurant field for 20 years now. So, I've seen it change and stuff like that throughout the decades. And yes, I'm a professional chef. That's what I really do, on the real end. But, I've seen it change, and I've seen also where I've gotten receipts when I do go out to other restaurants and stuff like that, where they were charging, like a fee for some shit. And I'm like, what is this fee for? And it's just getting to the point to where it's starting to cause a serious issue. So we're going to dive off into this. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
There's a 20% service fee on credit cards.
What? 20% service fee on credit cards? No fucking way. No, 20% payment processing fee, 20%. I'm really starting to think that the biggest problem with restaurants today isn't the food quality, and it's not the price of your burger. It's the audacity. Apparently, restaurants are no longer being subtle about their greed. We've gone from, would you like to add a tip? To a 4% breathing fee, a $3 bottle surcharge, and an $8 table tax. These places are starting to nickel and dime us like a competitive sport. And guess what? Today, we're exposing every single ridiculous charge that they were hoping we wouldn't notice.
So now fast food restaurants are charging us a service charge. Right here, it says service charge. When my wife told me she got a service charge at the Chipotle's, I was like, what's a service charge? We're just paying for the employees' salaries now.
$13.65 service fee on a $100 order. That's over 10%. What is the service fee for? At freaking Chipotle. Now, this receipt isn't Chipotle. It says steak and eggs, brunch burger, side of bacon, and a service fee. What the hell is that about? And then they probably want you to tip on top of it.
So a service fee is for the staff.
I've definitely noticed when you go into these restaurants now, even fast food places, and I get it, not everybody eat fast food, so don't, what I'm saying, whatever. But even fast food places, man, like it'll be like they so quick to ask you for a tip up front before you even, pay for anything. I'm like, listen, look, dude, that shit just seems greedy as fuck to me. As many years as I've been in the culinary field and stuff like that and worked in many restaurants from fast food all the way to fine dining, I've never seen this type of level, and I call it greed because it is what the fuck it is. Dude, you're harassing people. I have to press a button to say no tip before I can even get my total, basically, and this and that. Man, dude, like that shit is annoying. That's annoying. A tip is supposed to be left out of the kindness of a person's heart that come to any restaurant. And, technically back in the day, fast food restaurants did not ask you to leave a tip. This is some new shit that's going on within the recent, I think maybe 8-9 years almost, maybe. This is some recent shit. I've never seen this even growing up. Even when I was 23 years old, I've never seen this shit.
So they can get a fair.
So there, right there at the very bottom, to support our staff, a 15% service fee is added to restaurant orders. This fee allows us to pay a fair wage and offer health care to all employees. So what does the price that we're paying for our food do? If the 15% fee is just to pay your staff, and let's be real, you probably pay them shit. That's why we're expected to tip. Are we just paying for the building with the food? And the staff comes, just stop nickel and diming us with fees and just pay your staff as you're supposed to from the money collected from the food you're selling. For the love of God.
Wage. California fast food workers are now making 20 hours. So here in New York, I guess they're doing the service fee. So I'm guessing now we got to pay for all our food and pay for their wages.
See, this is what happened when you raised them shits up to $20. I remember when California did that dumbass shit. Sorry, California. If y'all would work on y'all self out there, stop electing these idiots and raising taxes, you wouldn't have to pay people $20 an hour and then on the slick end charging people all these crazy ass fees. Hold on here. What did it say here? Hold on here. Hold on a second. What was this at? I think it was right here. Was this the California one? Hold on. Let me see.
So I'm guessing now we got to pay for all our food and pay for their wages.
We're paying for our food due. If the 15% fee is just to pay your staff, and let's be real, you probably pay them. That's why we're expected to tip. Are we just paying for the building with the food and the staff comes? Just stop nickel and diming us with fees and just pay your staff as you're supposed to from the money collected from the food you're selling. For the love of God.
Wage. California fast food workers are now making $20. So here in New York, I guess they're doing the service fee.
So, okay, the service fee right there, Jesus Christ, it's so short. Sorry, you guys. I want to get to the point here. All right, here we go. Let's see. 15%, that's 405. 20%, that's 540. 25%, that's 675. Jesus Christ, man. Suggested tips. They're suggesting the amount that they want you to tip them. 15, 20, 25. What happened to 10%? They just skipped over the whole 10%. Even God don't want but 10%. Wow. This is outrageous. Hey, that's some California shit all day. This is crazy right here, bro.
So here in New York, I guess they're doing the service fee. So I'm guessing now we got to pay for all our food and pay for their wages.
You know what the worst thing is after a wonderful night is when you get charged a kitchen fee, 4% kitchen fee. What the f is that? Here we go again. So this happened again here in California.
California again. Let's see. 36, 9, 17, 18, 12, 10. Everything zeroed out at the end. Let's see. Side of flatbread 3, a kitchen fee. I've never heard of that a day in my life. A kitchen fee.
California in Santa Monica. Had a great night. We were celebrating. The food was great. We had no idea that so many things. So we ordered 2 shots of tequila and we were like, oh, how's tequila?
Hold on here. I'm seeing something at the bottom here. Hold on. Let me blow the screen up. If you guys could see it. They got 25% tip on here. $26.70. I think that's $26.25, maybe. Looks like 22%, $23.10, 20%, 21. Jesus, man. Jesus, these people is on it, bruh. They want that money bad.
It's fine. We got charged $36 for 2 shots. What the F? And then not only that, that's like $18 a shot. Not to mention the kitchen fee, 4%. I mean, the food was good and all, but like, come on. Like, why do you do that? No one even informed us about this. And then as soon as a check arrives, they come with like the actual machine and they make you like select the tip option right away. And the lowest tip option is 20%, 22%, 25%. I mean, that's okay. But like, if
no, that is not okay. Like I said, even God want 10%. Only want 10%. Like, what are they talking? They just skipped over full 15. At least the other receipt had 15% on it. Man, wow. They just started at 20. Jesus Christ. This is crazy out here, man. Like I said, man, I worked in the restaurant game a long time. I ain't never seen restaurants charging like this on a tip. This is crazy, bro. Like, they actually demanded it now. It's not even an option anymore at this point. It used to be an option for you to leave tips. Like, seriously, you new agers, y'all don't understand. It was an option. It was not a demand that you leave a tip, or they weren't going on the back end charging you fucking kitchen fees and shit like that. This is crazy.
20% is like the minimum you guys require on top of the 4% and the tax that you added on top of that. And the $18 shot. I wasn't happy about that, but we had such a great night. But
we had such a great night. And that's the thing too. It's like the restaurants are banking on you having a good experience to not question the bill. Like I can't tell you how many times I've gone out. I don't get to like go out to a restaurant experience like she had very often. But when I do, I go to have fun. I will spend some money and I try to not look at the receipt because I am having such a good time.
Right.
Those are the kind of circumstances where these restaurants will tack on all of this shit and they'll hope you don't notice. If I asked for a well tequila shot, I would not have suspected to be charged $18. And that's the thing. They could just claim, oh, we didn't hear you say well, so we gave you top shelf. What do you do after that? You drank the shot. It's not like you can give it back. If they truly did give you a top shelf tequila instead of a well that you asked for, you kind of have to pay it. I mean, I'm not going to be that person that says, no, you need to put your foot down or refuse to pay it because you drank it. You already drank it. It's putting a lot of faith and trust in restaurants to actually charge you properly. And then it's up to you to be okay with an uncomfortable situation if something on that bill is not what you expected, like a freaking 4% kitchen fee.
All right, Vegas, here we go again. These hidden fees, I'm telling you. So if you haven't seen my last video, check it out. But this is proof right here. I literally got receipts. So this tourist right here comes to Vegas, goes to Hell's Kitchen, has a summer sampler right up there for $80. He gets his tax, 6 something, a tip already charged to him for almost $15, and then his total. And then they have the audacity to put down here, gratuity not included. Here's your options for
gratuity not included.
Hold on. So let's look at this, people. This is crazy right here. So they automatically adding in the tip now. $14.57. How you just gonna add on the tip like that? Now, of course, this is Vegas. Vegas, California, these are some screwed up places. You know, I'm down south. You know, people down here, we're not playing that shit. You're just not finna add on a tip like that. That's crazy. You're not finna just add on the tip and then, you know, say at the bottom, gratuity is not included. How is that not possible when it clearly says tip right there on the fucking receipt? You know, see, this is what's going on here. They're depending on rearranging society. A lot of older generations and stuff like that, we move different. So, you know what I'm saying? Some of us, you know, definitely got enough money to, you know, we go out, we have fun. We may not pay attention to the check like that. The young people definitely don't pay attention to the check. Every now and then you'll catch an older person to look at their check and be like, what the fuck is this going on? But, you know, they're depending on us, like she said, having a good time. You out there, you having drinks, stuff like that. You're not really paying attention. Most people nowadays don't really know that the game has changed in the restaurant industry. They are adding on shit like this automatically. And when you go pay your receipt stuff, pay your check and stuff like that, you're not really, a lot of people not really paying attention like that. And that's what the trick in the game is. Nobody really got aware of what's going on their checks when they go out to eat.
Here's your options for
gratuity not included. What the hell is the tip then? Shady, shady, shady. They were expecting that they didn't notice and just tip on top of it. That's gross. Gross. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I am now on Facebook. So if you want to go follow me, so make sure you go give me a follow.
Okay, so I'm at a Mexican restaurant having some lunch, and the receipt comes out, and they say it's a service fee for serving a customer. Now, this right here, I'll take the cake. Okay, so I'm down now, and the receipt says service fee for serving the customer. What's a service fee for serving the customer? What is that?
The way she just sips her margarita, that looks good. So now they're saying that a service fee is for serving the customer. Then what is the tip for? Is that like a shady way of saying that it's a living wage fee? So is that service fee the money that the restaurant is going to use to pay the server's wages? And then of course you tip on top of that, because it's not the tip, it's a service fee. Like,
Okay, have you guys seen this? And if you have, what are your thoughts? It says many restaurants are adding an 18% living wage fee on top of the meal cost to cover staff payroll expenses. Now, this, I'm not sure where they're doing this, who's doing this. Has this started happening yet? My question is this supposed to be instead of tips, or are you still supposed to tip on top of this? So this little section here, it says living wage fee of 18% added to each dine-in check. This fee goes directly to living staff payroll and provides a living wage to our team. If you choose to tip, tips are pooled amongst the entire team.
I have a problem with that too. If I am tipping my server, it's because my server did a good job. I'm not expecting my tip to go into a pool for everyone to split. I'm sorry. I understand you want the entire team to be able to benefit from tips, but if I am handing a tip to my waiter, they get the tip. That alone pisses me off. I hate.
Okay, now to speak on that situation, I've seen where restaurants have like some restaurants, let's say the restaurants that you go to that don't have the server experience. Like you got certain high-end restaurants, the servers bring out the food. You got, you know what I'm saying, food runners, busters, all that type of shit. Then you got another type of restaurant where you walk up to the counter, stuff like that. You know, pay for your food. They have a tip jar there. You can't leave a tip, or you don't have to. But at the same time, though, too, you know, and they have, you know, food runners that run the food out and stuff like that at that particular type of restaurant. But you leave the tip at the counter when you pay for the food if you want to leave a tip. So in this case here, she's talking about, like, you know, when you sit down and the server come out and you give your server a tip, but the restaurant has it to where the server has to turn the tips in for a group tip situation. It's not old school where you give your server a tip and that's their money. That's their money right there, plus the maybe $2-3 that they get paid as a server in whatever restaurant, depending on what restaurant you go to, sit down restaurant, stuff like that. So they're actually, you know, trying to get the servers to turn in the tips that they may get off the table, and then they splitting them up amongst all the servers at the end of the night, I guess. This is crazy, right? This makes no sense. And this is also teaching, coming from like I say, I've been in the restaurant game for a long time. This is also teaching the servers not to be hustlers. Real hustlers in real restaurants. You're supposed to get out there, impress the customer, make sure your table's clean, good, properly served, everything like that. You're supposed to be dressed nice from head to toe, looking very presentable, know how to execute the menu to your customer, what wine to pair with what dish, all types of stuff. This is crazy right here. And when a server actually executes that properly, they get the best tip on the line. Man, this is teaching these people how to be lazy out here.
8 pooling tips.
Thank you. So it's a weird concept to me, because now you're basically using the 18%, what would be tip or gratuity, whatever you want to call it. Now you're paying your entire staff with it. Is this going to change their hourly wage? Because a lot of servers in certain states only get $2.13 an hour. So is this going to be now like everybody who works at the restaurant only gets $2 an hour? And then you're relying on the 18% fee to pay everybody? Like, how is this going to work? And then it also says if you choose to tip, it's going to split between the entire team, which to me doesn't make sense, because if I'm tipping my server. That person did a really good job serving me, interacting with me, helping me out. They earned that tip. What are your thoughts? What's happening here? Is 100% of that going to the staff? Or like, I have so many questions.
I think it's stupid. It's not right. It's not right. I don't like it. I don't like it one little bit, because you know the price of food didn't go down. The price of food is going up. So in addition to the price of the food going up, we're also having to pay 18% tax just so that they can pay their staff to serve it to us. Stupid.
Let's get into all these fees we paid at this restaurant. And before we all start, no, we not broke. I just want to talk about these fees. All right, we got a 44.
Okay, first you keep going. Let's see. A service charge. Jesus Christ, of fucking $44.82. Let's see. State tax State tax on a restaurant? What? What is this? Hold on. State tax, $11 and some change. City tax, $4 and some change. County tax, a county tax. What? I've never seen this shit on no fucking receipt in any restaurant I've ever been in. And like I said, I'm a chef. I sit down in fine dining restaurants and paid the money just to see how these servers act or how the quality of the food goes. You know, real chefs, we always go around and critique other restaurants low key. People don't be knowing that shit. But a county tax, this is wide open. Let's see. What the fuck is a ATL? Let's see. T-post. Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. Hold on. Let's see what the hell going on here.
It is so sad that she has to preface this entire thing with that statement. No, we're not broke. I just want to talk about the fees. We have come to a place where we can't complain about being charged bullshit fees because people are going to criticize us on the internet and say, oh, we're too broke to pay it. That's why we're complaining. No, we're not too broke to pay the fees. We're just tired of getting nickel and dime to death.
Right.
When it comes down to it. Speaking of, if you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button on it and let me know because
I got you, baby.
Got a $44 service charge, $11.75 state tax, $441 city tax, $881 county tax, and then if you don't pay with cash, you have to pay basically $11 more. Let's get it.
The list of the extra fees and surcharges is like almost half the list of the actual food that they ordered. And half of the list that they ordered is zero charges because it's like the chicken and waffles, the key lime was $4 extra, as is zero. And then $6 potatoes, $6, like the list of fees on this receipt is probably the longest one that I've seen. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hi guys, I am here to report another unexpected charge from a bill. This time it was a 4% health charge.
A 4% health charge? Health charge. Don't tell me that that is so that restaurants can give health insurance to their employees. Don't tell me that's what that is. Don't tell me that.
Our restaurant bill had a 4% charge for health insurance. Or
damn it! I saw that one coming.
That's wild.
Now we have to pay 4% so employees can actually have health insurance provided by their employer. What happened to the time in our world when, you know, employers just offered health insurance to their employees and didn't expect customers to pay for it?
Now, you know, in the restaurant game, health insurance is pretty difficult in some cases. Now, you know, it is up to the owners or the corporation or whatever, private owned restaurant, whatever, to secure a proper deal for health insurance, you know. And also in some cases, in some restaurants, definitely, it also depends on the number of employees that you have to where those restaurants can get certain type of deals on health insurance for the employees. You do need a certain type of number of employees and stuff like that to get what you need, the numbers as well, for not only the business to pay for it, but as well as the amount of money that's going to come out the employee's check. You know, you don't want, you know, to get the wrong health insurance and, you know, it's $400 per employee or some dumbass shit like that. No employee in the restaurant going to be able to pay that. I don't give a fuck how much you make in a restaurant. You know, you could be the GM, whatever. Yeah, ain't nobody paying that much for no fucking health insurance. So, you know, it just is what it is here. That's the case on that, you know, as far as the health insurance costs. But it's crazy though that they're charging, you know, on the back end for health insurance, you know, after you pay your check. Now that's wild right there. That is wild.
Was, you know, a business expense. It's getting out of hand.
staff wellness. And I've been seeing this on the receipts of restaurants all over San Diego. They're allowed to put it on there, but you can't be forced to pay it. If you ask them to take it off, they have to remove it.
Good.
I've also seen some places put a $2 water donation fee if you drink water. There's a new California law, SB 478, that's supposed to go into effect July 1st. That's supposed to block these junk fees, basically saying they're not allowed to advertise a lower fee and then tack off junk fees that you didn't know or expect, except for government taxes and government fees. So to me, that sounds like they're going to have to embed it into the price of food, and they won't be able to put these health care wellness 4% surcharges on our bills anymore. But have you seen that in other states besides California?
So I don't live in California. So if you don't live in California, please let me know if you've seen this wellness charge. This video was posted about a year ago, so it's not brand new. It should have been a thing for a while now. So let me know if you live outside of California and you have seen a wellness charge on your bill. I'm curious.
Stop by any McDonald's in the city of Los Angeles, and after being asked, do you want fries with that? You might also be asked, do you want a bag with that?
Well, I'm in the drive-thru, see the sign. There's a mandatory charge of 10 cents per bag.
Dr. Katie Shakur experienced this at an LA McDonald's earlier this month. McDonald's was suddenly charging 10 cents per bag.
Okay. I've heard of places on the coasts that will charge 10 or 15 cents for like a plastic bag or something like when you go shopping. But for paper sacks at McDonald's, I thought that they started charging the bag fees because they weren't environmentally friendly. So they wanted to incentivize people to bring reusable bags. What excuse does a fast food restaurant like McDonald's have to charge a 10-cent bag fee when they're giving you paper sacks to put your food in?
So this is where we at though. Listen, look, guys, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna kill it here. I'm gonna put the link down below to Miss Linda's video here. Man, this is crazy though. This is outrageous that people are being charged like this. And from what I'm seeing here, from the footage that she's pulling up, it's a lot of places, definitely out west of America, that are doing these type of crazy things and stuff like that, just basically ripping people off with these fees and charges. And this is wild. I don't see how these places, these states and stuff, are allowed to get away with this. You know, I don't think we have any laws that have been passed to say that a restaurant can actually, you know, pre-charge you for tips and then tell you on the receipt that the gratuity is not in the check, but it clearly say tip on the check. Man, this is wild right here. They're charging for paper sacks, 10 cent, 15 cent. That makes no sense. That's a part of the whole game. And to be honest with you, McDonald's started in California. What is that? McDonald's started in California with the McDonald's brothers back in the fucking 50s and shit. Jesus, man. This is wild out here, man. They are charging people like this in these restaurants. Thank God this idiocy hasn't made it to where I'm at. Or, you know, I clearly see in this video, it's also in New York. You know, I'm down south. So, you know, I haven't seen this anywhere down south, from Florida to Texas. I hadn't seen any of this going on here. But, you know, it's no telling how shit gonna creep in. It's a sad day out here that when you go out to eat, they're sneaking in hidden fees for you to just drink water. $1 fee for drinking water. Man, this is crazy. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.